Hi guys, so today I'm going to be making a Wings of Fire Queen OC. So as of so far, I really don't have a Queen OC, so I think this will be interesting. So for this, I'm going to be using a spinner wheel of names, and I'll post a link to that below. Here are some of the things I'm going to be spinning on. If you want to try this, keep in mind that if you don't get a hybrid, you can just skip steps 2, 3, and 4. I used mostly the same prompts that Dog Lover Likes Dodge used in their video, Wings of Fire Pause Game, Royalty Edition. So check that out. I'll link it in the description below. Alright, let's get this started. I'll just play my little music in the background until it's time for me to talk again. Okay, so I'm gonna jump right into this. As y'all saw, I got an Icewing Nightwing hybrid. Now, this was extremely hard to come up with, mostly because her mother was a Nightwing, therefore she would be mostly Nightwing. However, she ruled the Ice Wings, so I had to pick a design where it made it clear that her mother was the Nightwing in the pair, while also making sure that she looked enough like an Ice Wing that she could play the part of their queen and not look too terribly out of place. I am a little proud of myself for this design though. For her basic body structure, I originally decided to make her look kind of like Whiteout, with the Icewing face but the Nightwing body. However, I ended up adding more Icewing into the mix, giving her tail spikes, as well as sharpening the spines along her back and the claws at the end of her wing fingers. I went in super detailed on the line art, and it took a super long time, but it was totally worth it in my opinion. Now, the coloring part was seriously hard. I ended up looking up some images of other people's hybrid OCs to try to get some inspiration. I ended up settling on the idea of a spotted dragon from a picture of a Hivewing Leafwing hybrid I found. I liked the way a dragon covered in patches would look, so I decided to go that route to see where it went. Now, I admit, I had always been a huge fan of blue tinted Nightwings, and I still am. I just think they're very, very pretty. Anyways, I decided on a super dark blue and black color palette for the main scales, adding a lighter grayish blue color for the underscales. Keeping some of Whiteout's inspiration, I added some extremely pale blue around the horns, tail, and neck spines. At this point, I added the classic Nightwing silver scales along the neck and the tail, and then the part I had been dreading, the spots. I was so worried about where to place them so that they would look halfway decent, but I settled on a pretty good look that I was fond of. I went with a light bluish gray color for the spots, lighter than the underbelly but darker than her horns and spikes. I mostly struggled with her face, however, because I had a very specific image or idea of her in my mind that I wanted to fit. It ended up taking forever to get right, but I finally settled on a facial pattern that I liked. Now, referencing my favorite characters of my own stories, I decided to make her eyes the same shade of pink as two of my other OCs. Some of y'all have probably seen one of them before. I thought it'd be a nice little nod to them, and it ended up turning out extremely pretty. Now was the second hardest part, the jewelry. Now, most of my OCs don't wear any jewelry for my own sake because I would probably forget to draw it. But if I'm being honest, I really love dragon jewelry and I think it looks really nice on the right characters. So, of course, if I'm going to make a queen, she's going to have some jewelry. I decided to go with a crown that is almost identical to the one that Queen Snowfall from Book 15 wears. I just made it silver and pink instead of pale blue. Then I moved on to necklaces. I wasn't entirely sure how many I wanted. I just started at the midway point of her neck and kept going down until I couldn't add any more. I also gave her a bracelet thing and a small earring that has its own lore behind it. As well as that, I gave her a piece of tail jewelry that was inspired by what I think Darkstalker wore to meet Fathom and Indigo in the Wings of Fire book Darkstalker. Then I had to come up with a name for her. I went through a few ideas, but I finally settled on the name Nightfrost. Then I added a fancy background, some finished touches, a little bit of extra sparkles, and ta-da! Here's the full final drawing of her and all of her jewelry. Here's a slightly closer up image of her without her jewelry, a slightly closer up image of her with her jewelry, and just a little thingy I wanted to do that's super close up without her jewelry. Before y'all go, I just wanted to say that I am extremely grateful for all of y'all's support through the last almost a whole year. We are officially at 542 subscribers. Wow, that's a lot of people. And I don't know where you all came from. But thank you all for this. This is absolutely incredibly insane. And I have no idea what else to say. Thank you all. Okay, bye.